What happens when a prince who walked away from his royal duties is allegedly told to get a job by the very woman who encouraged him to leave? It sounds like a fairy tale in reverse. According to recent reports, Meghan Markle's new lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, is hitting a slump, which is supposedly putting immense pressure on Prince Harry to become the family's financial savior. But in this flood of media speculation, what's actually true? For weeks now, the media has been painting a very specific and, frankly, dramatic picture of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It's a story of financial strain, professional letdowns, and growing tension inside their Montecito mansion. We're being told that Meghan's big new venture isn't living up to the hype, and because of that, the financial burden is falling squarely on Harry's shoulders. But how much of this is real, and how much is just a carefully crafted story designed to get clicks? Today, we're going to break it all down and separate the verified facts from the unconfirmed and often wild claims coming from so-called insiders. So, let's look at what the reports are actually claiming. The main idea, pushed hard in early June 2026, is that Meghan Markle is getting tired of being the primary breadwinner. This narrative, which has been amplified by commentary channels and tabloid-style publications, suggests she has flat-out told Prince Harry to get a job and step up. It's a provocative claim, and it's the hook for this entire story. According to these reports, the reason for this alleged pressure is the supposed poor performance of Meghan's new brand, American Riviera Orchard. The brand, which launched back in early 2024, is being painted as a slow starter that failed to create the huge commercial buzz everyone expected. This business slump is then tied to another major claim, the Sussex's massive cost of living. Figures have been flying around, especially from outlets like Page 6, that the couple needs something like $6 million a year just to maintain their lifestyle. These same reports often claim that a wild $3 million of that, half their supposed budget, goes to private security alone. When you put it all together, a struggling brand, huge expenses, and a direct quote of Meghan telling Harry to find work, you get a very potent story. It paints a picture of a couple in over their heads, their California dream turning sour as the bills pile up. The articles are usually sprinkled with quotes from royal experts or anonymous insiders who claim Meghan is shouldering an unfair burden while Harry's professional contributions are minimal. It's a neat, dramatic story that has spread like wildfire. But the second you start looking closer, the whole thing starts to wobble. To really get this, we have to start with the brand itself, American Riviera Orchard. And the first, most important thing to clear up is that the brand's performance is, at least to the public, almost entirely speculation. These claims of a slump are an interpretation, not a fact based on any public data. American Riviera Orchard was introduced in March 2024 through a surprise Instagram teaser and a website with a waitlist. This was Meghan's independent project. The first product that got everyone talking was a limited run of strawberry jam, sent to about 50 influencers and friends. This is classic luxury marketing 101. Create scarcity, build mystique, and get buzz through elite placement. It's not what you do if you're looking for massive sales on day one. So, where is this slump narrative coming from? A lot of it is connected to analyses published by outlets like Newsweek. Their royal correspondent has pointed to a decline in web traffic to the American Riviera Orchard site after the initial launch spike, using data from web analytics services. At the same time, polling data from firms like YouGov has shown that Meghan's net favorability rating in the US has hit some rough patches, sometimes dipping into negative territory. The media narrative then makes a huge leap. It connects a drop in web traffic and personal popularity to a business failure. But that's a massive assumption. First, the official sales figures for American Riviera Orchard have never been released. Nobody outside the company has any idea how much they've sold or what their revenue is. Second, the brand is still a baby. Many luxury brands take years to build a loyal customer base. To call it a slump this early is a judgment call, not a verified financial fact. Now for the most explosive claims. The idea that Meghan told Harry to get a job and their supposed $6 million annual budget. This is where the line between reporting and pure rumor gets completely blurred. The whole premise that Meghan is pressuring Harry rests entirely on claims from anonymous sources and insiders. Not one person has gone on the record to confirm this. These quotes are the lifeblood of tabloid journalism because they create drama and are impossible to disprove. It taps right into an old, familiar story: the hardworking, ambitious wife who's fed up with her husband. The fact that this is happening to a prince who gave up his life of duty is what makes it so irresistible to some outlets. We have to apply the same skepticism to the financial figures. The claim that the Sussexes need $6 million a year, with $3 million for security, has been repeated so often it's treated as fact. But this number isn't based on any public financial records. It's an estimate that has been circulated in tabloid-style articles and commentary. While some security experts have given similar cost ranges as reasoned guesses, presenting the $6 million figure as a hard fact is misleading. It serves a narrative purpose: to create a sense of desperation that makes Meghan's supposed get-a-job demand feel more plausible. What we're seeing is the careful construction of a story where unverified claims are stacked on top of each other to create a compelling, but ultimately flimsy, drama. Before we dig into the history that makes this whole narrative so powerful, if you appreciate this kind of fact-based breakdown, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps these analyses reach a wider audience. The biggest example, of course, is their deal with Spotify. In 2020, they signed a multi-year partnership widely reported to be worth around $20 million for their company Archwell Audio. But after 2.5 years, only one major project came out of it: Meghan's 12-episode podcast, Archetypes. In mid-2023, Spotify and Archwell announced they were parting ways. While the official statements were polite, Bill Simmons, a top podcasting executive at Spotify, publicly called them grifters on his own podcast. His seniority gave the comment a lot of weight and helped cement the idea that the Sussexes had failed to deliver. Then there's the Netflix deal, reportedly worth as much as $100 million. This partnership has had real successes. Their docuseries, Harry v. Meghan, was a huge hit and one of Netflix's biggest documentary debuts ever, based on their own viewership data. It gave them a global stage to tell their side of the story. However, other projects have been slower to come out, and the press often focuses on what hasn't been released, feeding the idea that they're struggling to produce enough content for such a big deal. These past events create the backdrop for the current story. Every new report of a slump with American Riviera Orchard is framed as just the latest in a string of failures. It lets commentators ask, if their media deals are shaky and their new brand is struggling, where is the money going to come from? This makes the unverified insider claims feel more believable, even if they aren't based in fact. This all leads to the central, almost absurd, question at the heart of this narrative: what job is Prince Harry supposed to get? The demand itself, even as a rumor, is so provocative because it's so hard to answer. Harry's entire life was built around one unique job: being a working royal. That role came with a clear purpose, a platform, and financial support. He chose to leave it for a life of financial independence. Since moving to the US, he's built a portfolio of roles, not a single traditional career. He's the chief impact officer at the mental health tech firm BetterUp, which is a salaried corporate position. His most passionate work is still the Invictus Games, the global sporting event he founded for wounded service members. He's also the co-founder of the Archwell Foundation, their nonprofit. And, alongside Meghan, he produces content for Netflix and does public speaking. The media's framing of Meghan allegedly telling him to get a job just ignores all of this. It implies he needs a normal 9-to-5 that brings in a massive, steady paycheck. But what would that even be? The truth is, Prince Harry's main value in the commercial world is his name, his status, and his story. He can't just become an investment banker without it being seen through the lens of his royal past. His current mix of corporate work, philanthropy, and media production is arguably a path designed specifically for his unique profile. This narrative creates a false choice. It pits Meghan's commercial projects, like her brand, against Harry's more purpose-driven work, like Invictus, and implies that if her ventures don't succeed, his work isn't enough to support them. It ignores that their financial model has been a joint effort from the start, built on their combined global brand. The real question isn't whether Harry can get a job. It's whether the public and the media can accept the unconventional career he's trying to build for himself. So where does that leave us? We have a media story claiming Meghan Markle's brand is in a slump, forcing her to pressure Prince Harry to find a job to cover their supposed $6 million a year lifestyle. But when you separate fact from fiction, the picture looks very different. The business slump is an interpretation based on web traffic and polls, not sales figures. The $6 million budget is an unverified estimate used to create drama. And the bombshell claim that Meghan told Harry to get a job comes entirely from anonymous sources. What's real is that the couple is navigating a complicated professional life after royalty. They've had public setbacks, like the Spotify deal ending, and they've had huge successes, like their Netflix series. Meghan has launched a new brand whose future is still unwritten, and Harry has built a modern portfolio career. Ultimately, this story is a masterclass in how a media narrative is built. It takes a few true facts, mixes in a lot of speculation, and adds a heavy dose of anonymous gossip to create a dramatic, clickable story that plays into public fascination and existing biases. It says far less about the Sussexes' actual financial situation and far more about the kind of stories the media finds profitable to tell. What do you think? Is this a real look into their lives? Or is it a media creation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives that get past the headlines. Thanks for watching.